Start time, go time? No. You can keep. Oh, here's yay. Oh. I don't know. So happy Saturday. My name's Gracie. I teach yoga full-time, kind of with my job. I do it, but I'm all over the place. Teach here when I can. I teach yoga. Do private lessons, girls' nights, things like that. So, but big part of yoga is breathing, which sounds kind of silly because we think of it as like the stretchy, which it is, but a big part of our practice is learning to breathe and to use our breath in a way to restore and repair our bodies. A lot of the times we're like stuck in this like fight or flight mode, and so we're tense and we're not breathing. So yes, we'll be stretching, moving, but as we're moving through our practice, we want to practice releasing the contraction that we carry around and using your breath in a rhythm that kind of speaks to the body and the nervous system that says, we're safe now, it's okay, you can relax now. And then the muscles will begin to relax and the mind begins to calm and all these really wonderful effects. So we always begin a few moments in the beginning of our practice just taking time to connect to our bodies, because a lot of times we're in our heads and we're down. So if you feel comfortable, you can be seated, you might take a child's pose, you might come and lie on your back if you want to begin on your back, but just take a few moments and you might close your eyes if it feels okay and just begin to feel around in your body. Notice if you are holding contraction in your neck or your shoulders or your jaw. Just try to find some softness in the face maybe, relax the shoulders away from the ears maybe, and feel into the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Feel into your arms, feel into your legs, feel into your core, your torso. And just begin to cultivate this mind-body connection. And as we feel into the body, we begin to breathe, right? Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. And we want the inhales and exhales to be equal in length. Right? Inhaling, you might count 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number you come to, and try to breathe out to an equal number. And just take a few moments here and feel what it feels like as you inhale. Maybe your lungs expand and lift the chest or stretch between the ribs or the back. And as you exhale, see again if there's any unnecessary contraction or extra effort that you can just release and let go of. And we'll just take maybe 3 or 4 more breaths where you are, right? Feeling the way the body feels as you breathe in intentionally and breathe out intentionally. And from here, gently make our way into table. So we'll come to hands and knees and just begin with some gentle movement, warming up the spine, the wrists, the ankles, shoulders with some cat-cow breaths. So you want to ground into your hands, your knees, your tops of the feet, and as you inhale, you'll lift your head, lift your tailbone up, arching the spine, and as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, round like an angry cat, rounding the spine. And we'll do this a few more times. Inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, arching the spine, exhale, round. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. We'll do a few more. You might close your eyes, right? Coming to the way the body feels. Maybe a stretch into the chest or the throat as you inhale. Maybe a stretch into the hips or the back or the neck as you exhale. Okay, we'll take maybe 2 or 3 more rounds of breath, moving at your own pace, but try to keep your breath slow and intentional. Okay, maybe another round like this. And then we can come into a child's pose. We want child's pose to be comfortable. Usually your big toes touch. Your knees may come a little wider, depending on what feels best for you. Hips come back towards the heels. Forehead may rest on the ground. You might have your arms extended, or you might bend your arms and rest your head on your arms if that feels better in your shoulders. But again, we want to just take a few moments and relax again, right? Notice if there's contraction in your neck and your jaw and your shoulders. Intentionally relaxing is a practice we need to cultivate, right? Because we unconsciously tense up and walk around with this tension. Right, so maybe another breath or 2 in your child's pose. Right, a new shape here. What does it feel like as you inhale in this shape? Right, can you exhale and maybe a little slower or relax a bit more? Then last breath in your child's pose, and then we can make our way into our downward dogs. So you'll come up into your table with your in-breath. Make sure your hands are aligned well and you're not externally or internally rotating your hands. And then we'll tuck the toes, lift the knees. And then we want to move away from plank. So let's just move into plank for a breath. Come forward into plank as you inhale. And then as you exhale, lift your hips up and back. And we want to move as far away from plank as we can in our downward dog. And then stay here. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your your nose. Try to allow the head to drop towards the ground so you're not lifting the head and tensing the neck. Take one more breath in and out in your downward dog. And then we'll bring the knees to the mat again and find child's pose. So take a few moments to get situated, get settled, and again, just resting. Right? Notice all the sensations in your shoulders, your hands, maybe the heart's beating a little differently. Right? And we want to release any contraction, right? And then cultivate a breath in and out, expanding the lungs, the diaphragm as you inhale, opening the chest, the back, right? Exhaling, maybe relaxing a bit more. We can come back up into our tables with your next in-breath and find your downward dog again. So tuck the toes, lift the knees. Again, it's moving away from plank. You want to open up the shoulders, open up the chest here, right, as well as your legs. Okay, but we'll take one more breath in downward dog and bring your feet to the top of the mat as you exhale for a forward fold. And then as you breathe in, we'll lift up halfway. We want a flat back here. And then fold with your exhale. We'll do this again. As you breathe in, it's a halfway lift. You want to strengthen the back a bit. But then as you exhale, you want to fold and relax your back, neck, and shoulders. And we'll stay in this fold. You can cross your hands into your elbows for ragdoll. Crossing the hands into the elbows, or you can just let your arms hang. But try to let your head hang so you're not lifting and tensing into the neck like we so often unconsciously do. We'll take one more breath in this forward fold, stretching the legs, but also your back, your shoulders, your neck. And then let your arms hang, and we'll roll up nice and slowly, slowly, slowly to stand. And we want to stretch all the way up the back. So stretching lower back, middle back, stretch between your shoulder blades, stretch into your neck. And then just take a moment at the top to just pause and feel and just be here, right? Feeling all the different feels. Good, we'll do what we call a half salutation. So you want to ground into your feet, right? And as you inhale, we'll reach the arms up to the sky. And then forward fold as you exhale to reverse swan dive. The arms can come out to the sides and all the way down. And then we want a halfway lift with the in-breath with a flat back. And then fold with your exhale. And we'll come all the way to stand, reaching your arms overhead as you breathe in. It's a reverse swan dive. And then hands to your heart as you exhale. And let's do that again. As you breathe in, we'll reach the arms out to the sides and overhead. Good, forward fold as you exhale, like a swan dive if you like. And then it's a halfway lift with your in-breath. We want a flat back here. And then fold as you exhale. We'll come all the way to stand, inhaling the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. Bring your hands to your heart as you exhale. Good. Pausing here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Maybe close your eyes, come into how you feel. And then with your next in-breath, lift your arms up to the sky. And then as you exhale, we'll lower the right hand down, lean to the right, and we'll stretch the left side. And then stay here. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose. And then come back to center, breathe in, reach tall. And then over to your left as you exhale. Good, stay here. Deep breath in, opening the right side body. Exhale slow. And then lift up back to center. As you inhale, and we'll forward fold again with the exhale. Let's halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale as you fold, and we'll bring the hands down to the ground. Let's come into plank with your in-breath. And then let's lower down to the mat with the exhale. So we're going to do a little bit of work on our stomachs coming into our Sphinx pose. So we're going to come onto your elbows, and this is just to open the front of the body here. So you can feel maybe a stretch into the abs or the even hip flexors. But from here, you can kind of lift up, and if it feels okay, you can just kind of lean side to side. And the intention is to stretch into the front of the right hip. You might feel it up into your chest or your shoulder even. Right? So you're kind of leaving the hip bones down and just kind of rocking side to side. Good, and then we can take one more breath and come back to center, press down to the hands, lift the heart up, right? Opening the front of the body. And then as you exhale, let's just lower the chest down and rest. One cheek to the mat. You might make a pillow with your hands and rest on the hands, or just kind of, just resting for a moment here. Good, and we'll do a shoulder stretch next where you take your right arm and extend the right arm out to your side, shoulder height. And then you want to take your left hand under your left shoulder and you'll press into it to roll to your right side. And then from there, this will stretch your right shoulder. So you might bend your left knee and put the foot in the mat to help stabilize. Right? Try to relax your head to the ground. Relax the jaw. Yeah, so this should stretch your right shoulder, right pec, right chest. Right? You can add in a stretch for the left side if you want to take your left arm up, take it back and around, but again, a few breaths, opening up the chest, the shoulders, the heart, right? Breathing, right? Notice if you're tense and not breathing. This is normal but unhealthy, so we try to create a new pattern of breathing, slow breaths in, slow breaths out, right? Speaking to the body, encouraging it to relax, right? It's relaxing the mind as well. So maybe one more breath in through your nose, out through the nose, and then we could come back to center and just take a moment in the center. And you might find stillness here and just feel all the feels, or it might feel nice to take a little movement, possibly swishing the feet side to side. Good. And then we can bring the left arm out to the side, shoulder height, palm facing the ground. Right hand comes under your shoulder and you'll press into the right hand so that you can roll to the left. And you'll come onto your left side. Yeah, try to relax your head down so that, we notice how you're tense in the neck. Try to relax the head down. But you can bend your right knee if you want to stabilize the body with the foot somewhere. You can lift the right arm up and back if that feels good. But just take maybe 3 or so more breaths in through your nose. Try to relax somewhere as you breathe out through the nose. And a couple more times, feeling all the feels the whole way through, each breath in and each breath out. And this is our mental practice of staying here, and it's so healthy for the brain. So last round of breath, and you can come out of this when you're ready, and then take a few moments. You might find stillness, or you might find a little movement. Right? But again, just time to be and to do as honors you. We'll take another moment, and then we'll bring the hands under the elbows, forehead to the mat. And then let's press up into a cobra. So strengthening the back again. You might lift your hands. Right, so yeah, lifting up for your cobra. Take one more breath in, and then we'll return to our table, and we'll come back to those cat-cow breaths, but we're gonna add in a variation. I don't know which way to face. I keep spinning around. I don't know. So from here, as you inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, arching, opening the front of the body. As you exhale, round like the cat, but also come back towards child's pose. So really stretching the back line. And then come back up into your table. Inhale, maybe lift the head and tailbone, opening the front of the body. Exhale, round like the cat, back towards your child's pose. So tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Again, one more time. Inhale, opening the front of the body as you lift up. Exhale, release. Crunch the front to open the back, taking the hips back towards the heels. Good, and then we'll come up into our tables with the inhale. And this time, downward dog as you exhale. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, take a few breaths. Maybe you pedal your feet out, and maybe you find stillness here, but really relax the neck so the head's not lifted. Sometimes turning the chin side to side is a nice little stretch for the neck. Good, but let's bring the knees down to the ground again, and we'll find puppy pose. So again, opening the front line of the body. You'll take your hands towards the top of the mat. Turn the tailbone up towards the sky, sinking the forehead down towards the ground. Sometimes we call this bleeding heart, so think about melting your heart down towards the ground. Some of you may choose to lift your chin, bringing the chin to the mat, and that's more of a back bend, but choose what feels best. And then try to breathe in through your nose, breathe out through the nose, and again, relax. Maybe the jaw, or maybe your toes, or maybe the heart space can melt down a bit more. Maybe another breath or two here. And then with your in-breath, you can lift your head back up, walk your hands back, and then take a few breaths to do whatever you want to. You might want a child's pose, you might like some cat-cow movements, but sometimes it's just a little bit of time to kind of feel it out and see what feels good in your body. And then, again, we'll meet in our downward dogs when you're ready. So tucking the toes, lift the knees, press into your hands, so we want to move kind of towards the puppy pose in the downward dog. So we're opening up the chest, the shoulders. Good. Let's lift the right foot up towards the sky with your inhale, and then we'll step to the top of the mat with the exhale, and we'll find crescent. So I want to stay on the toes of the back foot as you lift your arms up to the sky. Good. Awakening the balance on the squishy floor. Right, but opening the hips, and let's bring the hands behind the back. And if it feels okay, interlace your fingers. And again, opening the chest, the heart, the shoulders. Good. One more breath in and out here. And then we can release the hands, sweep the arms up overhead as you inhale. Let's bring the left hand down to the ground with the exhale. So left hand grounds, right hand lifts. So we're twisting the spine, stacking the shoulders, opening the hips. Nice. Take one more breath in there. And then we can bring both hands down to the ground. Let's lower the back knee down, and we'll come into what we call half splits. So you'll untuck your back toes, stretch your right leg out, and you can lift your right toes up. So stretching the hamstrings, stretching the back. Likely there's tension in the neck and shoulders and jaw space, so we practice relaxing that, and this helps stretch the whole back line, right? Because a lot of times we think our hamstrings are tight, but it's really our backs, right? So we have to release the contracted neck and allow the whole back line to stretch. Last breath in and out here. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose, and then we'll lift up and then shift your weight forward. We're going to come into a lizard variation, so you'll take both hands to the big toe side of your foot and then scoot your foot over to the right some. So big lunge, opening the hips, right? So from here, there's all kinds of things you can do. This might be plenty where you are. Some of you might want to bring your elbows down to the mat. Some of you may, whether your elbows are down or your hands are down, you can add your right knee, keeping it as it is, or you can flex your foot and then open the knee out. So you're coming towards the outside edge of the foot. That'll get more into, so all kinds of things. You can add a twist in, you can add in a quad stretch from here, right hand back to left foot. None of this is necessary, it's all options. Some of you are more flexible and you need more stretch. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I'm dying in this first spot. So please stay there and just practice breathing wherever you are, right? Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through the nose, try to relax. Maybe your hands are making fists, or maybe your jaw is clenched and you're wasting so much energy. Right? And this is how we waste a lot of energy through the contraction in our bodies. So we practice and learn where we hold it, learn how to release it, right? And learn that we can use the rhythm of the breath to help chill things out. So maybe 2 more breaths. Breathe in, right? Breathe out slow. Last round of breath in your lizard, and then slowly and carefully come out and do whatever you want to. Right? And this could be some funky movement. It could just be some stillness. It could be, you can stretch, you can strengthen, but this time of introspection where we can kind of feel how all the different feels, we learn how things are connected. Like, oh, that pain I have in my neck is because, I feel something in my hip now. So sometimes, child's pose is nice. I usually come into some sort of flow and movement and just kind of, just something to kind of move on some of the energy and get things to move on. But totally personal, and you take another moment or 2 for yourself. And then we can meet back in a downward dog when you're ready to move on. And take your time, get there slowly if you want. Take a moment once you're in your downward dogs to feel that space. Like, we know it's coming now, but feeling your hands, feel your arms, relax your neck, relax the jaw, lift the tailbone high. Good, and then lift your left foot towards the sky as you inhale. And then step to the top of the mat as you exhale for crescent. So you'll stay on the toes of the back foot as you lift your arms up to the sky. Again, awakening the balance here on the squishy floor. It's a little bit more difficult, but also opening up into the front of the right hip, right up into the front of the body, and then the hands come behind the back. Interlace your fingers or just rest them on the back, but the intention here is to open up through the chest and the upper body as well. Take 1 more breath in and out here, and then we can release the hands, sweep the arms up overhead, and then we'll bring the right hand down to the ground, and reach the left hand, left shoulder up towards the sky. So opening hips, but also adding a twist. So right hand down, left hand lifted, good. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the sky. Take last breath in there, and then you can bring both hands down, and we'll bring the back knee down for our half splits. So you'll untuck your back toes, shift your weight backwards, stretch your left leg out, and you can lift your left toes up. Good, and then likely, right, we're tense and not breathing again, so our practice is to relax and breathe in and out, right? So allow the head to drop, unclench the jaw, right? Cultivate the breath in through your nose, out through the nose. And this is how yoga helps with stress, right? We learn how to process stress better. One of the ways. So 1 more breath in, breath out, and then we can lift the heart up and then shift the weight forward. This is where we'll come into the lizard variation. So you'll take both hands to the big toe side of your foot. You can scoot your foot over so there's space for your body to kind of lower down, right? But most importantly, we want the hips to be sinking down. You may choose to lower the elbows down. You may choose to flex your left foot, open the knee out. You may choose to add a twist or a quad stretch. Again, nothing is better than the other. It's just a matter of what's, you grab the foot, you might cause an injury. So feel it out, do what feels best, and then Breathe, right? Breathe in. Feel what happens as you inhale. The sensations in your body should change. Right? As you exhale, see if you can relax someplace else that you didn't realize you were tense. Right? There's always more areas. And this is maybe 2 more breaths in this lizard. Right? And we're physically stressed. Right? But we're teaching ourselves how to stay calm, right? Through the breath, right? Through where we're placing our attention, right? In this kind of stressful situation. So last breath, and you can come out slowly and carefully. Take a few moments to, maybe you have your eyes closed and you just feel it out. See what you need movement, if you need a counter stretch, if you want stillness, you need to strengthen. Okay? And just taking a few moments to feel all the different feels. And then when you are ready, let's meet in one more downward dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the knees. We're going to do a malasana. Wonderful hip stretch, not great for everybody's knees. So it looks like this, feet are wide, toes turn out, hips are low. You may lift your hands, bring them to your heart. If this is not good for your knees, you can do a happy baby pose where you come to your back and have your knees wide and hold your feet. So both are useful for stretching the hips. One may not be useful for your knees. So you can, if your hands are lifted, you can bring them to your heart. You might lift your heart here. Try to take maybe three breaths, right? Breathe in. And then as you exhale, maybe, again, the face is tense, or maybe, there's the heart is tense. And when there's these little areas in our bodies that we don't even realize we're holding tension, we practice softening. Good. And we're going to meet on our backs. Some of you might want to just go back and sit. Some of you might want to practice crow. It's a fun arm balance that burn yogis are usually capable of, but yeah, no takers. Okay, arm day yesterday. Not fun after arm day. There's a crow, yay. So, Baddha Konasana, another hip stretch, bringing the soles of the feet together. Again, I say hip stretch, but also really great for stretching the lower back. Often we're kind of folding from here. We want to think about pulling the belly kind of through the thighs so that we get our lower back stretched out, which is most of our problems versus hamstrings. So inhale, and then as you exhale, kind of pull the belly through the thighs. Likely you're contracted in the upper spine, so allow, again, the head to drop. You might feel a stretch move into the neck or the upper back, or maybe deeper into the back. But then breathe in through your nose. Feel what changes. Right? Breathe out through the nose. Feel what changes. Again, it's this practice of training our minds to stay here. It's really valuable. So last breath, and then you can lift up when you're ready. Take a few moments just to feel into the space of you. And then we'll extend your right leg out, my left leg. So right leg extends out. And we're going to do a twist to the right. And we'll lift up, sit up tall, and then try to fold over your right leg. And you might reach your left arm across the right leg, and maybe crossing both hands. Yeah, and then allow the head to drop. And then breathe in, deep inhales. Exhales, nice slow exhales. And take last breath here. And then we can come back up with the in-breath. And then just take an extra breath at the top. You might find stillness, maybe a wiggle. We're going to do another lateral stretch in a moment. So this will be to stretch and open the left side body. So your right hand will come to your right leg. And as you inhale, lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, lead over to the right. And deep stretch on the left side body. And then add your breath in. Feel the body stretch maybe more. See if you can relax as you exhale. Good. One more breath. And then we can lift back up with the inhale, and again, you can rest here, an extra breath to do as you wish. Sometimes stillness is really nice, sometimes you need a wiggle, right? But kind of just feeling into the space. And then we can switch, so left leg extends out, right leg comes in. First we'll twist to the left. And you want to try to sit up tall, lengthening the spine, same thing here. Reach your belly out towards the thigh, right? So it's kind of stretching out the lower back. Right? Allow, maybe the right arm might cross over the left leg. You might cross the opposite arm on top, so you're kind of crossing the wrist. This helps to stretch your back as well as your hamstrings. So already opening that right side. One more breath here. And then when you're ready to inhale, we can lift back up and Take a breath for yourself. Okay, maybe eyes closed, just feeling it out. And then left hand can come to the leg. This will be to stretch the right side. We'll inhale, lift the right arm up. And then exhale as you lean over. Breathing deep breaths in. Maybe the ribs expand and create a little bit more stretch or openness there. And then long breath out. Good. Last breath here. And we can come back up with the in-breath. And again, a moment for yourself. Maybe you close your eyes and just feel this, all the different sensations on that right side. And maybe a neck stretch or shoulder roll. But we'll do a seated forward fold next, bringing both feet together. We'll sit tall, breathe in, and then exhale, folding forward. And just 2 breaths. Allow the head to drop. I know it's silly, we're gonna watch, but like it makes a big difference because when we're lifting the head up, we're holding contraction in the back, but maybe let it go and then it stretches the whole back line. And it also trains the brain to stop the tension in the neck, relax the tension in the neck. And then when you're ready, you can lift back up and take a moment, maybe a shoulder roll or a neck stretch. But we'll be coming to our backs in a moment. Have your straps handy so you don't have to sit like, have them at your side. We're not going to use them yet, but we will in a moment. So have them handy so you don't have to sit up later. That's annoying. But come to lay on your back and just take a moment to relax, get grounded, feel all the different feels. Good. We'll do a couple rounds of dynamic bridge pose just to kind of open the front of the body some more, but also awaken the spine. So ground your feet, bring your hands by your hips. As you inhale, lift your hips up, take your hands overhead, back so the hands touch the ground. Exhale as you roll hips and hands back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. You might close your eyes. We'll just do 2 more. As you inhale, lift your hips, lift your hands. And as you exhale, roll your hips and hands back down, nice and slow, nice and smooth. Good. 1 more time on your own. The in-breath is where you lift up. You can try to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and smooth. Good. And then once you're down, we'll come into a full happy baby pose. So you'll bring your knees to your chest, but take them wider than your torso. Reach the feet towards the sky. You might hold your feet, like the outside edges of your feet, or you might hold your ankles or your calves or your knees, but knees are wider than the torso, feet are towards the sky. Take a couple breaths there, and you might rock side to side if it feels good. Sometimes I'll bend or straighten into one or both legs. But stretching the hips, stretching the hamstrings, stretching the back. And 1 more breath in your happy baby pose. Think of a baby that just found its toes. They're always on their back, trying to stick them in their mouth, right? So you can, from here, lower your feet down, and then just take a moment. Right? Maybe you close your eyes, feel the sensations, maybe tingling in your legs, or your hips, your back, your arms. From here, we'll find Supta Baddha Konasana, where you bring the soles of your feet together and open the knees out away from each other. So feet are on the ground, soles of the feet are together, knees open out away from each other, opening inner thighs and hips. And you can choose what you do with your arms. It might feel nice to take them to the body or overhead or to the sides. But we'll take a couple breaths in this Supta Baddha Konasana. And notice if you're tense in the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders, and you're not breathing. Right, again, we practice relaxing and breathing in this physically a little stressful situation, right? And it helps us to stay calm in mentally, emotionally stressful situations in the rest of our lives. Right? So maybe another breath where you are. And then we can come out of this and take a few moments. Maybe you want stillness, maybe you want a little movement. Good, but let's bring the knees to the chest. Hands to your kneecaps, and just want to massage the back in a way. So you might rock side to side, you might circle both knees or circle one knee, but just massaging in the back of the body. And also, awakening different parts of the brain as we feel into different parts of the body we don't often think about. Good, but let's bring the knees back to center. And then let's open the arms out to the sides at a T, and we'll do a few twists. So take an inhale to begin. And then take your knees to the left and turn your chin to the right as you exhale. Come back through center with your in-breath. And then switch sides. Exhale, knees to the right, chin to the left. And again, One more time each side. Come through center as you breathe in. Twist as you exhale. Come back through center with your inhale. And then twist to the other side as you exhale. Good. Let's come through center with your in-breath. And then let's stretch the left leg out, resting your left heel out along the mat. And then let's take the right hand to the right knee and do some knee circles. Just circle your right knee around, some big circles in one direction. And then circle in the opposite direction. And just feel all the different feels the whole way around the circles, maybe some crunchy areas. Good, and then we'll come into a twist from here. So take your left hand, your opposite hand, to the outside of the knee. Reach your right arm out to your side about shoulder height, and you'll twist over to the left. And then couple breaths here, right? Notice how it feels as you intentionally inhale. Maybe you stretch or open your shoulder or your ribs or your back. Right? As you exhale, find someplace else that is tense that you can relax. So it might be your right foot, or it might be your jaw, or it might be your right hand that can relax. You know, there's always more places, and we just want to stay here within our bodies, right? Exploring how it feels to breathe in this shape, and seeing if you can relax a bit more in this shape. Take last breath in your twist. And then when you're ready, we can come out of the twist and just take a few breaths to do whatever you want to. Right? You might find stillness or a counter stretch or maybe movements or whatever honors you in this time. And then we can bring the knees to the chest again. A little massage for the back. So you can hold the knees so that you kind of rock side to side. Maybe I'll circle one knee out and then the other knee out, but massaging into the back of the body. And you might have your eyes closed so that you can, again, kind of feel more. And then we can come to center and stretch your right leg out. Rest the right heel along the mat, and then a few circles on the left side. So big circles guiding the knee around in one direction a couple times, and then the other direction a couple of times, feeling all the different feels. Maybe crunchy, maybe zingy, different parts, just kind of feeling all the different feels. And then we'll take a twist where we take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, open the left arm out to the side, shoulder height, and we'll twist to the right. And then a couple deep inhales. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through the nose. Try to relax. Right? Maybe your eyes are closed. So again, it just directs more attention into the body so you can feel more. Right? Inhale, maybe your ribs expand, or the back stretches, or the leg stretches, the shoulder stretches. As you exhale, try to find softness, ease. Good. And last breath, you can come out whenever you are ready and just take another moment just to feel, right? You might take movement, find stillness, but again, awareness in you and all the different feels. And then we'll bring the knees to the chest. And just kind of realigning, recentering. We'll bring the hands to the kneecaps. We'll hold the knees, fingertips facing the toes, and as you inhale, you just straighten your arms. Right? Arms straighten, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, bring the knees to your chest. So really gentle movement called Apanasana. As you breathe in, you just straighten the arms, take the knees away. As you exhale, bring the knees back to the chest, nice and slow. Good, last one, breathing in and breathing out, nice and slowly. And then you can just rest your hands and feet down, take a breath with your feet grounded. And then we'll find the strap and take the strap around the ball of the right foot and extend your right leg out so that it's straight. And that might mean that it does not face the ceiling, it might face me more. But we want the right leg so that it's straight. And it's just the beginning of the stretch. It's not too much, right? It just kind of feels good. You can adjust your left leg if you want to. You might stretch your left leg out towards the bottom of your mat, or you might open the bent knee out to the side, or again, but we'll take about 3 breaths in and out. Try to relax maybe your face and jaw, maybe the neck and the shoulders, maybe the belly, maybe the glutes on that right side can relax, or maybe the hamstrings, maybe your back. Okay, but a couple breaths, and we want to feel all the feels through the inhale. Maybe feel how the feels change through the exhale. Good, and then we'll take the right hand and hold both pieces of the strap and open your right leg out to the right. And you may choose to adjust your left leg again, so it might not feel good as it is. You might bend it or straighten it, but again, maybe your left arm comes to the body or over to the side, but again, relax your left side, relax your right side, relax your jaw, like breathe. 2 or 3 more breaths in and out. Good, last breath here. And then we can come out of this. Eventually we'll switch sides, but take a few moments for yourself. Maybe you come back to a twist or some knee circles, or maybe you just find stillness, or maybe you want to, keep the strap and do a different stretch. But in just a few moments in between sides, just to feel and do as honors you here. And it's weird because at first we're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I feel. But that's part of our practice too, is getting back in touch with ourselves and how we feel and what we want, what we need. Okay, but let's take the left foot, or the strap around the ball of the left foot when you're ready. You might have your right foot grounded to begin, just getting the left leg straight, adjusting maybe your hands on the strap to relax the upper body. Okay, but you can adjust your right leg. You might like it stretched out. You might like, different position, but take maybe 3 deep breaths. And again, you might close your eyes. Okay, just try to stay within the body. How does it feel as you breathe in? How does it feel as you breathe out? And you might lengthen your exhalations out here to kind of encourage the body to relax more. Make your exhales extra, extra long. Good, and then we'll take 1 more breath like this, and then we can take the left hand, hold both pieces of the strap, and then open the left leg out to the left. And again, you might choose to adjust your right leg at this point. You might adjust your right arm. Try to open up through your chest and your collarbone so you're not tense in the chest space. Relax the belly. Relax right side, left side, inside, and breathe. And maybe the eyes are closed and you feel the sensations change with the in-breath, and they change throughout the out-breath with the intention of softening with each exhale. Good. Last breath like this, and you can come out when you're ready. We're done with the strap, so you can set it aside when you're ready. You can keep it if you like for an extra moment if you want to stretch, but take a few moments to do what feels best for you in this moment. And then we'll bring the hands to the kneecaps again, knees to the chest, and just a little bit of massage again. Sometimes, like I said, I'll scissor the knees, and that kind of massages one side, the other side, and just different things, just whatever feels good. And this is great to massage the lower back, right? And just break up some fascia, also stimulates lymphatic flow and circulation, all the good things. But we'll finish with a inversion of your choice. It might be a dead bugs pose where you just extend the hands and the feet towards the sky. You want to stay relaxed though. You might take a shoulder stand where you press the hands down, lift the hips up. Some of you might take a plow where you bring the feet overhead. You might like another happy baby pose like we did earlier with the hands to the feet. Maybe you want a headstand, but something that lifts your feet and or your hips above your heart is what we want. So we'll take just maybe 4 or 5 more breaths in your choice. You're lifting your feet and or your hips above your heart. And then after those 4 or 5 breaths, we'll be making our way into Shavasana, which is our final resting pose. And you're welcome to add in anything else, maybe socks, anything else that might make you feel more comfortable in your Shavasana. You might add in a different stretch or a different this, a different that. Again, articles of clothing are nice. We ultimately come into Shavasana, which is our final resting pose, and we stay there for a few moments in stillness and silence. So I'll guide you through the cues so you know where to go. But eventually I'll move into silence where we just relax for a few moments, and then I'll guide us all back. But for Shavasana, you have your legs extended out along the mat, a little wider than hip distance. Toes roll outwards for an external rotation of your legs. Arms come to the sides with a little bit of space between your arms and your ribs with an external rotation of your arms. Right, so maybe the palms or the thumbs face the sky, but more importantly, we want an external rotation of the upper arms so that the chest is open, the shoulders are open, right, where we're often kind of rounded forward. Okay, but most importantly, we want to be comfortable. So close your eyes and just check in if something doesn't feel right. You're welcome to adjust. You might bend your knees. I'm going to move this over this way for the end. But you might bend your knees. You might have your arms to your body. Whatever allows you to relax most is what we want. And then take a moment, close your eyes, and see where you're contracted. Again, likely it is in your jaw, right? Maybe the forehead's tense, maybe there's tension in your neck or your throat or your upper back or your chest space. Maybe you can relax into your heart space, and maybe you can relax into your lower abdominal or pelvic space, and maybe the legs or the arms or the hands or the feet can relax. But ultimately we want to relax completely, and this isn't just physically, maybe more importantly it's mentally. So you'll notice that your attention will keep wandering back to the mind or into the future or back to the past, the workings of your mind. Okay, for now we want to relax just for the next few moments. I'll guide us back, but for now take these next few moments to relax completely, physically and mentally. And at first we're like, what do you mean? This is hard, I can't stop thinking. But you do have a choice where you place your attention, and when you find yourself thinking again, redirect your attention back down to your body. Feel, are you contracted again? Are you not breathing again? Right? We don't alter the breath here, we allow the body just to breathe itself, but we can feel how the body expands and how the body contracts and how the breath rises and falls in the chest and the belly, all this movement inside, even in the stillness. Right? And we just take time to rest and to be here. Right? Just resting physically and mentally. Gently awaken your body. Bring small movements back to your fingers, your toes. Maybe stretch into your hands and your feet, your arms, your legs. And just take your time, move slowly. But when you're ready, you can bend your knees and make your way to lie on either side in the fetal position, and just taking a moment or two or three or four, however much you need on your side. Once again, noticing how you feel. And knowing that you have a choice on where you place your attention, whether you stay with the thoughts or you redirect back to your body by relaxing the contraction and maybe altering your breath in a way that helps to calm your body, like slowing the breath down helps to slow the mind down as well. So one more breath wherever you are, and you can press back to seated whenever you're ready. And we finish by bringing our hands to our heart. But take your time getting there. Once you arrive, just bring your hands to your heart. Bring your hands to your heart. You're closing your eyes one more time and just directing your attention back to you. Okay? Maybe thanking your body, right? Even though your body may not be exactly as you want it to be, there are many, many, many people in this world that would love to have the body that you're in. And so just showing your body some love and gratitude and appreciation. Allow this to spread throughout your entire body. Allow your body to feel this gratitude. And know that your brain is there to keep you alive and safe, so gratitude for your mind as well. And it's gratitude for your heart, the space where you can experience joy. Right? We're just finding the balance between all three is our practice, and I thank you all for joining me in this practice. Namaste. Happy Saturday! Love to give everybody a little extra bell. But yeah, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is recorded. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think Daniel was right. That probably would have been the better way, and I could have just spoken face that way. I was like spinning around throughout class. I'm like, I don't know. And it was just on me. But I'll put it up on my YouTube so you guys can do it again later if you enjoyed it. There's others out there on the YouTube, so I'm sure Tami links the things and sends the things, or maybe it's just Lita. I don't know who does it. And somebody does it. So, but yeah, and then I'm Gracie Jane. I'm on the social media stuff, so I have, free classes. I teach locally, and girls' night. I'm trying to go girls' night. They're so fun. How you go to class at your house and then wine and drinks afterwards. It's a fun thing. I'm few people do that, but yeah.